Greetings to you, all lovers of freedom, all good people all over the world who sympathize with us, who identify with our cause, all people who stand for justice. Greetings to you, all of our comrades, our brothers, our sisters in the struggle from Amazonia, our African brothers, as well as other indigenous people that make up the population of Nigeria, who agree with us that this unity that is not favoring anybody is due to be dissolved. I greet you all. Akpan Asokwo from Biafran Radical Freedom TV. This evening, I call on you all. I call on everyone who is listening to this very short broadcast publication from the studio from me, Akpan Asokwo. I thank you for all the time you have supported our cause, but the journey is still on. We still call on you to keep supporting us, especially in this critical time when we know our leader, Nnamdi Kanu is really suffering serious ailment. The kind of marginalization, maltreatment, and unfair treatment of all measures that have been meted against him as a person on whose head rests the burden, whose head and shoulder rests the burden of this our quest. And all of us, the Biafran people, the indigenous people of Biafra, please join us in calling for Nigerian government to stop the injustice. A lot of people have cried out from all quarters of this failed state of Nigeria. Sunday Igboho himself, who was equally found wanting in demanding for the well-being of his people, has regained his freedom. Showore, who also was found wanting by Nigerian state and labeled to have committed a treasonable offense, has been freed. All charges against him have been quashed. But because we have a Biafran son who has been very diligent in asking for a singular thing, for the wish of his people to be respected, for the wisdom, freedom, and well-being of his people. This is not different from that which is asked from Sunday Igboho, who even after his release still came forward on public space to reiterate his resolve to still push out all the terrorists who are occupying their forest to perpetuate evil and machinate terror. This fateful evening, I am calling on you who are from the other tribes that makes up this contraption called Nigeria to lend your voice. There is something about injustice and keeping silent when it's meted to other people around you. If you do this, if you keep quiet when injustice is going on against your neighbor, be rest assured you have taken injustice to bank, that in due time you will cash from it. It is in view of this that I call on you, who is not yet facing injustice today. You know, when it was just a mere pocket of terror activities by the Fulani militia around some Nigerian states before it got serious in my own land, Biafran land. A lot of other tribes of Nigeria, including the Middle Belt and the whole Southwest, they were all rebuking and condemning us when we were battling this. It was still mere pockets of insurgency, assault, and terroristic humiliation. We call it terroristic humiliation because we found that it had the backings of government, where these terror activities were seen clearly to have been sponsored by state actors. This is made evident when we see the level of equipment, fires, the rifle used by these supposed cattle rearers, which it was at that point. When you see the level of equipment they use, you ask yourself, have you not seen pastoralists? Have you not seen people who are in grazing in other parts of the world, including the Western Europe? Do they move around with rifles? But the answer we all know. These people, in the case of Nigeria, is an obvious movement sponsored by state actors towards advancing Islamization agenda. When we make mention of Islamic agenda, our Islamic brothers in the western part of the country, the Yorubas especially, they don't seem to agree with us until they begin to get confronted with the realities. Because the Yoruba people are not aggressors, not known for this kind of attitude, so they found it difficult hitherto to believe that anyone can perpetuate that manner of, or this still ongoing, because it has even come to a level, it has gotten out of hands. They never believe hitherto that this measure of madness can be unleashed in the name of religion, because no Yoruba man is an extremist Islam. None. I don't believe there is any Yoruba man who acts in that same manner. These people ride under the back of religion to perpetrate terror because they believe in power grabbing. They use religion as their medium of remaining in power, and thereby making other parts of the country who are actually far more intelligent in terms of intellectual scopes, intellectual capacity overall. There is no how you can begin to measure the intellectual ability of a southern Nigerian to that of a Fulani, whom predominantly are pastoralists, who wonder just about their preoccupation is wondering about all the topics, and you can just count a handful of them who have access to a good education. And when you see those one half-baked ones, they are seen like gods in their eyes. Where averagely in the western Nigeria, in the southern Nigeria, the eastern Nigeria, you see that nobody is seen to educationally distinguishing, because virtually everyone, every family have a large number of persons who have actual education and are really intelligent. Our call this evening is for you to call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. And from there, you begin to call for you to control your own fate by yourself. Are you not ashamed that you are looking around the places you look at as baby African countries or neighboring countries excelling, waking up from their slumber? It has become very obvious that the grasp of the Western forces who use these Fulani people to machinate and advance their interests against the overall interest of the people, the inhabitants of the origins, of the indigens, original indigens of this environment, this geographical area called Nigeria. Intentionally, it is very deliberate that these people are backing up these Fulani people, irrespective of the fact that they are Christian states. And this is where you come to understand the point of delineation between religion and politics and interest. These Western forces, they don't care about what religion you are. They brought the religion to us. That's why a lot of our people have engaged in unending argument that cannot bring anything useful to us. Different parts of the world adopt different types of religion, and they are progressing. They are doing very wonderfully well. Burkina Faso is now in the hand of a Muslim. Ibrahim Traore is a Muslim. But go and check his profile. Go and check his capability. Go and check what he's able to do to his people. He is delivering the deliverable with all due honesty, because he understood where his problem comes from. He had to say it is not a question of dividing the country, because it's not a multilinguistic or multi-ethnic background like our case. It is virtually impossible for Nigeria to work. The white man that put us together know that our diversity is not such that can be resolved. Our diversity, we don't share common ideology. There is nothing a Yoruba man will do. There is no kind of policy a Yoruba man will do as a Nigerian president that will interest a Fulani man. There is nothing. There is nothing a Yoruba man will do as a president that will interest and appease. Even if he let him abandon his own people and focus on developing the Fulani environment, just like Jonathan tried doing, to just appease them. They just want to be in charge of power in its totality. They are not bringing anything to the table, to the national table. Nothing. The natural resources found in their place, they use artificial terrorism to take over those areas where you see there is no airport. Flight will be landing there from Western Europe, from Asia. Flight will be landing there and taking resources, thereby making it impossible for these resources to go, for the monies generated from these sales from these transactions to go to the national coffers to serve the interests of Nigerians. Are we talking about going to the post-national treasury, where even the ones that are going to the national treasury are still looted, dried by whoever emerges as president, and is backed up by these foreign powers? They help them take this loot and abandon in their own reserves. And eventually some of them even buy and leave these reserves. This country still turn it back to their own economy. And maybe after over 30 years, they would have taken the thank you and very much from this. They now say, oh, we are repatriating this one. It is from Abacha, it is from Achaba. You must wake up. Every part of Nigeria have capable hands that will help them advance their collective interest, advance and bring about their well-being. The unity you are managing in Nigeria it's not possible to be managed. And therefore, I don't want to go any further. I have a lot of things to have said, to say if time is permitted, but I'm very busy. But I want to tell you to begin to call on the relatives of Nnamdi Kanu, and afterwards, you call on your own people. Nigeria is highly populated. You are over 280 million people. And you see that nations are less than 8 million and they are doing perfectly well. Go and check all these European, especially Eastern Europe, even in some Western European states. A lot of them are less than 10 million. They are doing very well. We have this diversity that we cannot manage. No matter what Tinubu do, no Fulani man will appreciate it. They want to be in power. No matter what Tinubu do, Igbo people will not appreciate it. No matter what any P2B will ever do, he will be condemned by the Fulani man. He will be condemned by the Yoruba man. After all, if the time we were existing as neighbors, we were comfortably doing very well as neighbors. The Yoruba man never hated an Igbo man before the coming of the British or the white man entirely, the Portuguese and whoever was here. The Yoruba men were comfortably good neighbors to the Igbos. The Hausa people were very peace-loving people. They were internal thread. There were thread within these areas, and everybody was living in peace. There was a high spirit of amity amongst these inhabitants. Like I just mentioned, Niger Republic is now selling their resources. They have cut off the hands of the West. They are selling their uranium in the international market. The uranium is selling at 200 pounds against the 40 pounds which the West, France, was cheating them. And watch the economy. I pity, was it it's not Assimi Goïta. Assimi Goïta is trying to return their government, Guinea-Conakry, returning it to this our half-baked democracy, this unworking democracy that they introduced to us. They introduced this democracy that you are following, thinking that the democracy they call is when the president of Niger Republic was ousted, the man who has helped the West to perpetuate this evil, an obvious evil. And you will see all those clowns you call African leaders saying, AU, what do you call it, ECOWAS, that this one, it's undemocratic. Speaking of all stupid grammar that they were given to by the West. You turning a watchdog, a machinery in the hands of your oppressor, and you are clapping, you say you are learned, you are intelligent. This is where you have real democracy. Assimi Goïta now is foolishly returning his people to the hands of the West. It's not, I'm not talking about Assimi, is that Assimi Goïta? Assimi Goïta, I think Assimi should be Mali. Am I talking about, should not, okay, I'm talking about the guy that ousted Afokandi. Afokandi, yes, I'm talking about African, not Assimi Goïta is still intact in Mali, yes. I'm not talking about him, please, let's correct that impression. Now, you look at what is happening in Niger here. You see this popularity. It is what we call democracy. Popularity, the popularity of the opinion. The people wants this man. Not that your foolish elections they do to rigging. Look at what happened in Russia. America was about interfering when they were doing it, basing it on cyber election. You know, when we told people that we are doing our online referendum, they said, how can you do? People are doing election online. Not today. People are growing. But Putin had to now switch it to standard operation A4, where you stand and vote who you want, queue up. Because America was about interfering in their database. Because you know, had Putin not won this election, the whole world, it would have been bye-bye for everybody. That is why Putin has promised the West. And all of you, if you want to grow in Africa, this is opportunity. There's an ample opportunity for you to stand up now. Vladimir Putin, he said he is totally out. The way he don't have to go draw sword with France and the West. He just has to liberate Africa and all of them will go hungry. He has to, and he has started the movement. He is not hiding it. He has to liberate Africa. Any African people who want to get liberated, this is the opportunity. But those clowns you have in offices who are, I don't know the level of what to use to qualify their selfishness. I don't know what to use to qualify their selfishness. They will keep playing on the intelligence of the populace. You will see A, you are looking at it, somebody is telling you this is Q. This is not A, no, it's not A. You are saying it is A. You see this is white, and the A is even white colored. And somebody is telling you, convincing you, speaking all the grammar, giving you all your theoretical backups that never comes to real life to manifest. That don't have anything to do with reality. Thank you, fellow my followers, my loving followers, my viewers. Thank you, my loving Biafran people. Thank you, all African people who are joining us in this struggle. I don't want to take time in this, and I'm launching it here right away. Akpan, still on your way. Please, it will do us wonderful thing. Just share this video, like it, recommend it to people, your friends. Subscribe to this our channel. We are here to give the truth and nothing but the truth. In IPOB, we are whiter than white. Don't mind what some detractors are doing, trying to paint us black. We are straight, we are focused, we are undeterred, we are very bold, and importantly, we do love ourselves. We are here as humanitarian movement. We are not by any means a violent people. Rather, we are a very good peace-loving people who only, when pushed too hard, stands up to defend ourselves, because our goodness does not translate us to cowards. Thank you, lovers of freedom. Thank you, good people of Biafra. Our Stanwell comrades, all the members of the Biafran Republic government in exile, all of our people who started this race before us, our gallant heroes who partook in the Biafran war. We thank you all, comrades. We thank you, we salute you. And importantly, our great and indefatigable leader, Nnamdi Kanu, and his son, Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is in the leadership of the brigade as PM. Thank you all. Thank you all who have been supporting, all those who are bringing their resources. Oh, I will be up to a very, very severe and messy blunder if I fail to recommend or to recognize and thank you all comrades who are on ground and who are telling the terrorists, the bandits, the terrorists who are called bandits that have come to kill and maim. That is our Biafran Liberation Army. Thank you all. We salute your courage. Please don't give up. Do more. The Lord is with you. We are also with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do us good to share this video. Let it go viral as much as you can. Different groups, WhatsApp, and other platforms. Thank you and remain blessed.